You know, ladies and gentlemen, I am starting to think that this company is becoming incapable of going a single month without making a PR statement that kind of rubs people the wrong way. They were going so strong for a while. Seasons 3 and 4, they were saying things that sounded right, they were doing the right things, but ever since then, every single month, it's been something that either a executive director says or a community manager says, something along those lines that just kind of makes the community perk up their ears and go, wait a minute, what was that? What did you say? And we've got another one here today. What's up, everybody? Catalyst here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing well. Another one of these conversational style videos where I kind of just wake up, record the video, post it later in the day. I am slowly but surely turning into a Battlefield news channel. This is what this game has turned me into. This is embarrassing. I am turning into a Battlefield news channel. Oh no. So a couple of days ago, GamesRadar released a exclusive interview with DICE Senior Producer Ryan McCarthur, where McCarthur talked a little bit about the development of Battlefield 2042 over the last 18 months, the improvement of the game, and where the company is going to be taking Battlefield 2042 going forward. The article, by and large, had a lot of good nuggets in it. McCarthur talked a little bit about Season 6, trying to build up a little bit of hype for that, especially considering that it might be the last season in Battlefield 2042, so there was a little bit of a teaser in there. There were also some interesting comments made about feedback, and there was a really good quote where McCarthur essentially said, players always know what they want, but sometimes they struggle with expressing that, which I can agree with. You know, feedback, whether positive or negative, is just that. Feedback, how you deliver it is important. You know, if you're going to be super nasty and angry all the time, you know, developers are just not going to listen to it. The delivery does matter at the end of the day. So I can agree with him there. Towards the end of the article, McCarthur also talks about the introduction of the class system into Battlefield 2042, and this article, like every single article that has come out about the redemption and improvement of Battlefield 2042, they all do this, but they completely overglaze the introduction of classes into 2042 like it was this revolutionary addition, that it massively changed the gameplay loop, which sure, it did a lot for the readability and organization of the game, but the gameplay loop by and large has not changed as drastically as all of these articles would make you think that it has. But with that being said, McCarthur also made some pretty interesting comments on Specialists and how players received Specialists during the launch of Battlefield 2042. He said, and I quote, "When we look back at the data and when we really started moving forward with introducing the class system, one of the big things that we really started to understand was that a lot of our issues came from the fact that players didn't understand how the specialists were supposed to work. And if you don't understand how something is supposed to work, of course you believe that the old way was better. Feedback from players was really good around this, so we had to find a way to give them what they wanted, but still allow us the freedom and flexibility that we originally wanted too." Now, I don't know about you all, but when I read this yesterday morning, I did a double take. I actually sat down at my desk for about 15 minutes rereading this quote over and over and over again, trying to find some alternate meaning, trying to find out if maybe it was a misquote or maybe if Ryan meant something else, or just basically trying to debunk this and what it says at face value, trying to figure out if he actually meant to say what he said in this quote. The best that I can do is that the design of the specialist made them a little bit hard for players to understand, but even in that context, it's a little bit demeaning to your players. I literally tried to give Ryan the benefit of the doubt in every single way possible, but apparently a lot of other creators saw this quote and gave it some bombastic side-eye as well, because they all kind of came to the conclusion that I did, and that conclusion was, man, this quote is extremely tone-deaf and it does not come off well. Guys, I have a confession to make. The last 18 months where you guys have been watching my videos of me teaching you how to use Specialist and teaching you how to play the game, yeah, apparently I just don't understand how those things work, and I've been lying through my teeth the entire time, so I'm sorry, please forgive me, don't unsubscribe. But in all seriousness, there is a lot to unpack with this quote. DICE, why are we blaming players again? Why is it so hard for this company to just own up to their mistakes and say, hey, You know, we tried something different. It didn't work out the way that we were wanting to. My bad. Lesson learned. We won't do it again next time. It's always, oh, we're reimagining this. Oh, we're reinventing the wheel. And, you know, if it doesn't land quite how we want to, it's because the players don't understand our vision and what we are trying to achieve. Just once, I would like DICE to raise their hand and say, I fucked up. My bad, bro. Instead, it's, oh no, the launch of Halo really ruined our game, or oh no, our players just didn't understand how specialists were supposed to work. Regardless of the fact that there were no classes, all guns could be used by all specialists, all gadgets could be used by all specialists, so there was no organization in any part of the game whatsoever. There were no platoons or meaningful squad management at the time, so we couldn't play with organized squads anyways, even if we wanted to. And it was painfully obvious to everybody from the very beginning that specialists were nothing more than a way to put microtransactions into the game. And on top of that, these specialists were some of the cringiest, most dislikable characters in any FPS game I have ever played in my life. I would list all of those reasons way far above the fact that maybe our players didn't understand how the specialists were supposed to work. And now that I think about it, weren't these specialists created for the Battle Royale game that Battlefield 2042 was supposed to be, but were then shoehorned into the game as it was at launch? Like, this entire quote just does not make sense to me on a number of levels. Also, I'm really curious to know what they were looking at to suggest that players just were stupid and didn't understand the way that specialists were supposed to work. Like, what data point is that? What stats are they digging up to reach that conclusion? Is it pick rate? Because pick rate isn't necessarily conclusive of people understanding how a specialist works or not. Most of the time, pick rate is conclusive in terms of balance and which specialists are the most powerful, which ones are the favorites, and so on. You know, this kind of reminds me of when DICE in Battlefield 5 were thinking about making a time to kill change, and their reasoning, their justification behind that was that players were leaving the game after they got killed. That was their justification for an entire, like, TTK change that the entire community hated. Like, I feel like there's some stupid unknown stat or justification here that they're not telling us that somehow made them think that we didn't understand how specialists work, which, again, specialists are not this crazy concept. I mean, they're heroes. They're heroes from a hero shooter in a Battlefield sandbox type game. It does not take a rocket scientist to know that Falk was supposed to be a quote-unquote medic specialist. It's when you start adding things like allowing players to use whatever gun they want or use whatever gadget they want instead of the traditional class system where things start to get blurry. You know, I would even argue that the players pushing back against the entire design of specialists is not a sign of the fact that they don't understand it. I think it's a sign of the fact that they do understand how specialists work, and they can all well, maybe not unanimously, but for the most part, we all can agree that the old class system is better, thus why we were asking for it so heavily. This quote just does not make sense on a lot of levels, and to be honest with you, I don't know how this was said on the record and how this made it into the interview, because it comes off as extremely tone deaf, and I think it's very disagreeable, and to be honest with you, it's a little bit concerning. It's concerning that this company is completely incapable of raising their hand and saying, I fucked up, that's on me, my bad, here's what we're going to do moving forward. It's also concerning that they continuously try to reimagine and reinvent the wheel when we as players say, this is Battlefield, this is how we like it to be, this is how you make a good game, and when they don't do those things, they are surprised by it, and then it's somebody else's fault besides the development studio. It's just so concerning for the future of this franchise. And I know that sounds like an overreaction, but I'm telling you, as somebody that has played this game for a long time, this type of language has been going on for years. And it's continuing to go on as this franchise continues its death spiral. this is not a good look. The next Battlefield already has a lot riding on it, and the optimism for that game is overall pretty low. Chastising your players and claiming that they don't understand what was very clearly a bad design choice is not going to improve that. That's about all for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like on the video. Please make sure to leave your thoughts about this down in the comment section below. Do you think I'm blowing it out of proportion? Do you think that Ryan maybe meant something else and we misunderstood him? Subscribe for more content. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, my name is Catalyst, and I will see you all another time.